Yeah, absolutely, and definitely been there, and have blog plans and scheduled plans, and weeks later they're out the window. One thing that I've found that's helped, and I'd love your opinion on this, is that a lot of people are moving to like dictating their articles and so forth, and then getting them transcribed, and maybe dictating a blog post while they're driving their car or doing other tasks. What's your thoughts on that? Do you lose some authenticity from it, or is there a lot of editing that then happens which actually slows the process down? And what's your experience in regards to dictating blog posts and articles?
Sure. Well, I guess it comes down to the individual. Some of us are naturally fantastic speakers. Some of us feel more comfortable writing things down. And that's something that I've definitely realized, especially because I do a lot of feature articles and I interview a lot of amazing people. And sometimes they prefer to write things down and send them to me. Like, so I have questions and I write them down. Other times people, such better speakers, because I've, given the reverse to the person and, spoken to someone, I'm like, wow, you're so boring. But your like writing is incredible. Like, what's happening? And then the other way sort of around. So I think I know a lot of famous writers have started to do that method. But I think often people's writing voice is different than their speaking voice. And so if you speak it out and then, you dictate it and it's literally transcribed exactly how it is, that might not always translate as nicely as it should onto paper, and you might have to then go back and edit it, perhaps with those transition words. Often when we speak, which I'm probably doing now, you kind of talk around a bit in circles and repeat yourself. So obviously you'd want to chop that out when you're writing. But I think a lot of people are vlogging as well. And again, they feel more comfortable just to speak out a kind of problem or a topic for 3 minutes than to write it. I personally would prefer to smash something out on the keyboard any day. But I think if that's what's going to take to get you to share content, if that's what makes you feel good and gets your sort of brand messaging and across, then like go for it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think just being aware that, sometimes, like I said, your speaking voice to your writing voice is slightly different and you do need to tweak that.
Yeah, okay, cool. I like that, to just kind of know the differences, and if you're happy with that, and I definitely agree with you, is that something is better than nothing. And, in the last 12 months, I've been very big on, don't let perfection get in the way of progress. Definitely. And, and I know that my strong suit is not to sit there and write, but I do love your tip about not doing it on the computer, because that is definitely what distracts me. Is like you see the little red underline, you're like, oh, what have I spelt wrong there? And all of a sudden your whole flow of thought just gets distracted by a little red underline. So I definitely, going to take that on board and, start doing some things more paper-based, or, turn spelling off or something, because it is those distractions, the little notifications that fly in and so forth that really break your train of thought, and then you get writer's block, which I think is just laziness.
Yeah, well, I guess, I think it's really important to note here, there are like 4 stages to writing. I guess there's the idea stage. And sometimes I go weeks and I don't write anything, and I'm just like literally consuming as much content as I possibly can. I suck it all up. I'm constantly reading attached to my phone. I've, like I said, 50 million books on the go. And so I'm kind of in brainstorm mode. I'm collecting ideas. I'm filling up my sort of inspiration bank. Lack of a better term. And then it's, I guess, the planning stage where you sit down and, like I was saying before, what do I want to write about? How do I want to structure this? When do I want to send it out? What's the purpose? And you figure that out. And then I suppose the fun part, but often the part that, again, people freak out about, is the actual writing part. And instead of focusing on the writing part, letting the ideas flow, to not self-edit, to just, I guess, let those ideas, I suppose, expand and get to their end point. They go straight to the final part, which is editing. And so that's where a lot of people find it difficult to write. And they come to me and they say, I've got my blog plan, I've got 50 million ideas, but it's just shit. And they show me the piece of paper and I was like, you've got 2 sentences. And they're like, yeah, I had 20, but I edited, it all down. I was like, you edited yourself out of this piece. You do realize that. Like, you took all the emotion, all the personality, everything out, and now you have to put that back in. And I guess, it's thinking about the different stages and being, I suppose, conscious about which stage you're in and not trying to jump backwards and forwards too much. And the hardest part is writing, but you should like enjoy it and allow yourself that time to write freely.